Hmm.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon po.
Okay, so you may notice I co-host some of you. So just help me admit those who are in the waiting room, just in case I missed it. And also mute your classmates if they are not, unattended. And by the way, there is a chance that Dean Mina will join us in this session for observation. Okay. So now let's proceed. So for today's topic, our agendas are the following. First is understand the importance of managing data, information, and data in your professional and also professional, and also personal life. Okay, differentiate media, data, and information, and different types of media to use in, of course, storing data. So we talk about different types of GUI, okay, previously, graphical user interface. And we also talk about different types of software platforms, social media platform, e-commerce platform, those platform. And we also talk about the different types of emerging technologies which are relevant in education, such as digital badge, augmented reality, 3D printer, okay? So those are the things we talk about. And of course, all of those things that we talk about that will not grow, or they will not progress the way that they are intended to if we are not utilizing different types of media. Okay, so that's why we need to understand different types of media. Okay, let's differentiate data and information. Okay, can someone read what is data based on this slide here? Can you raise your hand? Anyone? Just read it to us so we can hear your voice. Okay, so yes, Paula.
Data. Data is raw, unorganized facts that need to be processed. Data can be something simple and seemingly random and useless until it is organized, while information is when data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so as to make it useful. It is called information.
Okay, so for example of this, let's say data. Let's say Paula's height is, let's say, 5'5". Okay, 5'5" yung height niya. Then, so what? Okay, if her height is like, let's say, 5'5". So that is just random data, okay, unorganized. So now, if we add another data from that particular data, which is Paula's height, let's say her weight. So let's say her weight is around 55 kilos. Okay. Now we already have two data. Okay. So her height and her weight. Therefore, if we organize those two data, the date, the height and the weight of Paula, then we can be able to classify that, use that as information that is useful to us. So we can be able to identify her BMI or body mass index. And then if we have the body mass index, that is useful already because we can be able to identify if her BMI is underweight or proper weight, overweight, or obese. Okay, so we can categorize her weight already. And if Paula knows her BMI, therefore, what will happen is that she will adjust her lifestyle accordingly. Okay, so from the two seemingly random data, her weight and her height, we're able to process it, structure it, organize it. Therefore, we already have a useful information, which is the BMI of Paula. So that's the difference between data and information. Data is raw and information is processed, organized, structured, and has a context already. Now, another thing we need to understand is, of course, media. Okay, so we already have data, information. Now, let's talk about another concept, which is the media. Media is any communicable material that is used to describe, explain, or instruct regarding some attributes of an object. So it can be in a form of a digital or analog. Okay, so okay, that's a different ano pala. This slide is intended for a different context of media. Okay, so this is the context of media that we want to observe. Okay, so communication outlets or tools used to store and deliver information or, of course, data. So the media is just a plural form of medium. Okay, now it is just a tool or an outlet. Okay, that the information and data is stored. Okay, so we have now the concept of data, that's raw, and information when we organize the data. Now we need something to store that particular information. That's where the media will comes in. Okay, so that is the purpose of media. From the very basic sense of the word, something that to put an information into. Medium, di ba class? For example, di ba, nanonood kayo ng mga horror movie. Let's say, Exorcism of Emily Rose or Conjuring or Insidious. Di ba yung protagonist doon is usually, siya yung nagiging medium. Okay? So medyo dark yung example ko, pero alam ko naman gusto niyo mga dark example. Siya yung nagiging medium. Therefore, siya yung nagiging channel to communicate, to deliver information from the different side of the dimension. Okay, so that's the same idea. We use different types of media as medium to store, communicate certain information for us to, of course, to make it useful to us. Okay, so those are now the relationship with data, information, and media. So can you give me a thumbs up, class, if everything is clear? Okay, so very simple concept of data, information, and media, and their relationship with each other. So why we need to be adept in managing different types of media? When we say adept, what does it mean, class? Anyone? What's the synonym of the word adept? You can unmute if you know the synonym, just one word. What's the synonym to word adapt, or what does it mean? Means skillful. Okay, skillful, knowledgeable. So if you are adept in this particular field, it means that you are professional, a pro, you are skillful, expert, correct? That's correctional. Expert into that particular field. You are adept. Okay. So why we need to be adept in managing different types of media? Because we, as based on our agenda a while ago, we use it to in our professional and personal life. So for example, in the professional field, if we are working in the field of geography, culture, scientific, financial, statistical, meteorological, natural, or transportation industry or field, of course, for that particular industry to progress, we need different types of media, okay, information and data to study it for us to progress. Okay, for example, geographical, okay, or meteorological. What is the activity of rainfall in this particular city in Metro Manila? Okay, that's a data number of the rainfall in that particular area. Then if we compare it to another rainfall of a particular area, then we can use that, we structure those data to make it an information. So of course, if it's already an information, we will use different types of media. We can use a video, audio, or text to report, okay, this is the rainfall in this particular area in Metro Manila is unusual because suddenly there is a sudden drop of rainfall in this area. So there, probably in a form of a text, okay, a report. So it was given to you by your coworker. So this is the report of rainfall in San Juan, something like that. Or in a form of a text. Pwede rin naman in a form of a video, okay, nagre-report. So we have discovered that this particular area was those things, or pwede ring audio recording lang. Okay, this is the interview of the people here living in San Juan area. Okay, so pwedeng audio. So those are different types of media. And that media, different types of media contains different types of information from that particular field. So same thing about all of those field that we can think of. Ang pagiging expert ka sa mga particular industry, if you know how to juggle, okay, juggle different, those three concepts that we talk about, data, information, and media. Now, not just for your personal use, okay, not just for professional, but for personal use also. For example, if you are using a, let's say a smartwatch, okay, and of course, it will track the how many steps, okay, you got in a day. So let's say, ideally, dapat maka 10,000 steps ka in one day. Then your smartwatch is tracking giving you the report of weekly steps that you got. You are only averaging, let's say, 3,500 steps lang in one day. So therefore, you can be able to use that particular data. So raw data lang yun. Pero pag pinrocess na ng smartwatch mo yun, they'll give you a report that you are not walking enough, okay, to meet the 10,000 steps ideal to become healthy in one day. So probably kapag pag Samsung or Redmi, yung smartwatch mo or Huawei, mag-i-email sila sa'yo. Let's say monthly walk steps report, something like that, in your email. So that particular email is the media that they have chosen, okay, to report to you those particular data. The data is the number of steps. So sila na bahala mag-process ng information. They'll give you also the media. Now, if they provided you a graph, okay, a graph or an icon of a person walking to motivate you, that's another type of media, which is the graphics, okay? So they provided you certain images for you to walk more, certain graphs for just a snapshot, just by a glance, you already know if you're hitting your target or not. Okay, so that's just for your personal use. You can also use this particular data that, let's say you have your GCash, okay? So lahat ng mga transaction nyo, yun yung mga data. Okay, bumili ka ng Mogu, 45 pesos, 7-Eleven. Nakita mo lahat ng mga tali mo, nakailang bili ka ng Mogu, Mogu sa 7-Eleven. Then, those are just data. Of course, kapag inano mo yon, pag pinrocess mo yon, the moment plus na in-screenshot nyo yon, yung mga activity nyo sa GCash nyo, that particular screenshot already is a particular media. So that media can be a graphics or a text. Okay, so that particular media is already the graphics or a text. Okay, because when you screenshot a particular picture, let's say in your GCash, okay, diba? Pagka na-screenshot mo yun, makikita mo yung mga activities mo, previous activities. So these are the media, those are the data. That particular app will process it to make it an information, and they will also provide that particular information to send it to you so that it will become a media of their choosing. So remember, we have different categories of media. Static, meaning it does not move. Okay, so text media, graphics media, those are those type of media that does not move, but it provides information still. Okay, to make it more engaging, we have a dynamic category of media, which are the audio, the video, and the animation type of media, so that the engagement, okay, will increase if you have these particular types of media. Okay, so is it clear to you now, class? Can you give me a thumbs up if the use of particular media is very useful, not just for your personal use, but also for professional, for different fields of industry, such as geographical, cultural, scientific, financial, statistical, meteorological, and different industries that we might be able to use it. Okay, so very good. Now, here are the different types of media that we need to be familiar with or very expert. So sabi nga ni Shinela, dapat tayo maging experts to these different types of media. So we categorize that as, actually there are three categories of media. First one is the static, dynamic, and the last category of media is the interactive media. Okay, so in static, it does not move, such as the text and the graphics. Okay, so a text is just a text. When you read it, then therefore it contains information. Now, additional types of media, which is the graphics, it does not move also, but it provides another level of interaction or another level of engagement because it has picture. When you show someone a particular picture rather than text, their engagement will increase. Now, another category of media is the dynamic, dynamic type of media. Under this are video, audio, and animation. So of course, another level of engagement that we will need to have is in a form of a video. If you show your boss, your students, or anyone a video rather than just a picture, their level of engagement will have another layer of increased engagement. Then audio also. And another thing is the animation. So here is the most primitive way of media, okay, which is the text. So text still does the job digitally, not just for analog way of typing text, but also for digital purposes. So it involves the use of text types, color, size, background. So this is very helpful usually on when you are reading on your different types of devices. Okay, so text is the first media under the category of static media. Next is the graphics. Okay, so graphics is the second media under the category of static or does not move. Now, what we need to be familiar with the type of media, which is graphics, is that there are two types of graphics. The first one is the bitmap, and the second one is the vector. So when we say bitmap class, this is an actual image, okay, of the real world that was transported to a device, such as your laptop, computer. So based in our example here, this piano is a bitmap image. So therefore, this is a real picture of a piano transported to a computer. While the vector is a type of graphics that is drawn entirely, okay, in a computer software, okay, or it was digitally created from the ground up using a computer. Okay, so let's say nagtake ka ng selfie, then in-upload mo sa, tinransfer mo sa, sa laptop mo or sa smartphone mo. That particular selfie, since it is a real world image of you that was transported to a device, that is technically a bitmap image. Okay, so let's say if you are very good in using a graphic software, such as, let's say, the most primitive one, which is the paint, and you draw a picture of a clown there. So though it looks lifelike clown, but it's still, since it was drawn entirely in a computer, then it is categorized as vector. Okay, so under graphics, we have two categories of graphics used, which is the bitmap and the vector. Now let's proceed to the media. Okay, I mean to dynamic category of media. Dynamic meaning it is moving. Okay, so the first one under the dynamic type of media is the audio. Okay, so when you come to think of it, class, can you store a particular information in a audio? Yes or no? Can you store an information into an audio? Can you give me thumbs up if yes? Okay, so I'm asking this because somehow some people are not very familiar. I mean, this is the least likely preference when they are using a media to store information. Okay, so bihira na lang gumagamit sa atin ng, oy, I need my birthday party, birthday ni Lovely. So let's do an audio recording of the video, of the event. So hindi na siya ganun ka-common, di ba, class? Pero dati yung mga 90s, 80s, yung audio recording, ano siya, medyo patok pa siya. Ngayon kasi parang bakit ka gagamit pa ng audio to record a particular event kung meron namang video. Okay, so everyone is using a video already. So under the media of audio, we have analog and digital. So to differentiate these two types of audio, analog simply if you are hearing, okay, the source of the sound directly without the use of any devices. So let's say face-to-face session to, nasa loob tayo ng classroom, nagsasalita ako. So the audio that you are hearing, me talking to you face-to-face, is an analog audio. Okay, but once it passed through a particular devices, just like what we have right now, an online session, that is automatically categorized as digital because it was processed already by a certain device. Next is the video. Okay, so one particular characteristics of a video is that it provides a powerful impact. Okay, just like what I'm saying, it has more engagement, okay, other than the different types of media because it provides powerful impact. Now, there is another thing that we need to be familiar with video, meaning that it can be easily edited. So ito pa yung mga reasons kung bakit famous yung paggamit ng video sa atin. Okay? Because, video clips can be easily edited. Okay? Pag nag-clips ka ng video. Kaya nga, #1 app ang TikTok because of this very reason that it is easily edited, and digital files can be stored on any file's computer, and the quality of the video can still be maintained. Okay, so if you post to a particular platform, that particular video is um, still there. Okay, though this is not always true. It depends. It still depends on the platform. For example, you took a 4K resolution video and you upload it in Facebook. So most likely it will be converted to 480p or 720. Depends on the settings. But if you upload it in Facebook, which is the 4K supports 4K resolution, that the the quality will maintain. Okay. Next characteristics of using video is that the files can be transferred within a computer network and allows nonlinear editing in any part of the video. So meaning, nonlinear editing, meaning hindi lang cut, paste, remove yung pwede mong gawin sa mga video natin ngayon. Okay? So pwede natin siya lagyan ng filter, pwede natin siya lagyan ng audio background, pwede natin lagyan ng mga all of those editing features sa video editing software such as sa TikTok, 'di ba? Pwede nang ganun. So, hindi lang siya linear yung pwede mong gawin na pag-edit, but you can do almost unlimited ways to manipulate a particular video file. Of course, video has a downside. Okay, digital files can be very large. Transferring files can take a long time and sometimes it's expensive. So let's say you are filming a 1-hour event in 4K. So you need to invest to a, let's say, 512 gigabyte SD card, which can be very expensive. So it can range from almost 5,000 pesos just for an SD card. If you want to take a 4K resolution. So yun, file size can be very large. And also, transferring it to a computer may take some time. Okay, so yung 500 gig na files pag transfer mo sa PC mo may take up to 30 minutes to 1 hour, but still depends on your device. So those are just you need to be adept in managing this video so that you can you know exactly what you are doing right away. Para kapag, kasi diba teacher ka, and it is very easy for you to get lost to different types of media. So if you have this type of knowledge in managing, na pag napagja-juggle mo tong different types ng media na to, then nothing to worry about. Nakikita nyo ba yung ina-alt-tab ko, class? Hindi naman. Okay. Natuwa lang ako sa comment ni Dean. Okay. So next is animation. This is another thing under the category of dynamic media, which is the animation. Meaning we have two categories, another two things in animation, which is the 2-dimension and the 3-dimension. It's a process of making a static image look like it is moving. So yun lang naman yung idea ng animation. It makes the static image look like as if it is moving. So in multimedia, digital animation is used. Digital animation can be categorized into two broad areas, 2D and 3D. So familiar with 2D, 2-dimension, and the 3-dimension type of media. Now, I think the simplest form of animation is the GIF. Familiar naman kayo sa GIF, di ba? Dati kasi yung concept lang ng GIF is to picture when you move it, it is, it seems like it is moving. Pero ngayon kasi yung mga GIF na ngayon, mga new generation GIF, is like it's really a video. Okay? Now na ginawang GIF format lang. Pero dati, yung GIF namin is kami gumagawa ng sarili namin GIF. It's just to picture that ni-render namin para maging GIF. So that it seems like it is moving. Okay, now the last category of interactive media is aside from static, dynamic, is the interactive. So refers to the different ways in which people process and share information. Interactive media is meant to engage the user and interact with them in a non-interactive media does not. So interactive virtual museum and Google Earth and simulation are example of this. If you come to think of it, class, Google Earth is really an interactive media. I can say that it is a very good example of interactive media. Kasi lahat ng mga nakikita natin sa Google, those are just collection of data. And those data are processed to become an information so that it makes sense to us. And we can interact to it. Okay? You can go to the street kung saan tayo lumaki, makikita natin doon yung mga kapitbahay natin, doon naka-blurred yung mga mukha nila. Pumasok ka sa street view. So it's a very interactive type of media. Then another thing is the virtual museum. Kapag in-scroll mo doon, makapunta ka na sa isang museum without going there. Mga virtual campuses, virtual campus tour. Okay, so those are example of interactive media. Simulation class. This is a very good example of interactive media. It's simulation of an aircraft, of a passenger ship, of a car. Those are interactive media. Then yung isang bagay na hindi tayo mabubuhay ng is also categorized as interactive media. Yun yung mga mobile games na nilalaro natin, mga sa console, sa handheld, and sa smartphone natin. Okay? So those are example of interactive media. Mga MOBA games, massively online battle arena games, and MMORPG, those are interactive media in a sense. Okay? As long as you can interact with it, it is considered as interactive media. Have you seen the movie class? It's a Black Mirror movie that you can interact. Bandersnatch. Can you give me a thumbs up if you've seen that movie? Sa Netflix. So that's a good movie recommendation sa inyo. The title is Bandersnatch Black Mirror. So if you watch that, that is maybe the first ever interactive movie na mapapanood nyo sa buhay nyo. Okay? So it's like it's a movie that you decide the fate of the protagonist. So for example, pagising ng bida, ano yung breakfast na kakainin, ano yung cereal. So pipili kayo kung pipili. So pag mayroong tatalon ba siya sa building or hindi, so ikaw din yung pipili. Hindi nyo pa narinig class yung Bandersnatch? Black Mirror, Bandersnatch? Panoorin nyo yun, class. Matutuwa kayo. Hindi siya boring na movie. So you decide the fate of the protagonist. So it's an example of an interactive media. Okay? You are able to interact to that particular movie. So here are different types of media in the form of text, graphics, audio, video, and files. So the media in different types of files, okay, or media, different types of category. So for example, files, text files. So we have .doc or Microsoft Word, or .text, so ASCII, .rtf, rich text format. For graphics, we have another type of, it's like .wav or waveform, just an audio file, or MIDI, musical instrument digital interface. So pag napunta kayo sa Saraon, di ba class, makikita nyo yung mga tinitinda doon na makikita kayo ng MIDI. Na familiar ba kayo doon, class? Okay. Merong mga MIDI sign kayo nakikita. So ang ibig sabihin nun is musical instrument digital interface. Okay, so it emulates the sound of an actual instrument. So MIDI. Diba? Mga karaoke. May mga MIDI player. Okay. Then AIFF or audio interchange file format. .au or audio, and WIMA, Windows Media Audio. There's another format for graphics. So .jpeg, so it means that Joint Photographic Experts Group, or GIF, Graphics Interchange Format. tag image file format, BNP, so bitmap. Ano ulit yung bitmap class kung naalala nyo? What does the bitmap do? What's the difference between bitmap and the vector? Nakakalala ba? Based on what I explained a while ago in a simple word. What does bitmap means? What's the difference between bitmap and vector? Anyone? No one, class? So bitmap is a real world image that was transported to a device. Okay. While vector is an image which is drawn from the ground up using a computer software. Okay. So can you give it a thumbs up, class, if that is clear? All right, very good. So next is we have the PNG or portable network graphics, and PSD is of course the Photoshop document. Now we also have .avi or audio video interleave, and .mov for QuickTime, and MPEG for motion picture experts group, and WMV is the Windows Media Video. Now there's another types of files that you need to be familiar with, which is the animation file. So if you render a particular animation, the file extension of that animation will end as SWF or flash and shockwave. So later class, meron kaming, di ba, we are observing sa College of Information Science, CCA, College of Computer, CCSI, basta sa College of Computer Science, they have this particular software that they are rendering animation. So yun nga, it's a flash and shockwave. Maganda siyang software kasi it is, they can create an entire sequence. So yung nakita namin doon, yung observe namin is yung bola na pupunta sa, stick figure lang na tao, tapos i-dribble niya, tapos i-shoot niya sa of course, sa basketball. So that, then kapag ni-render nila yun, nagiging .swf or flash and shockwave. And most basic type of animation files is the GIF also. So outlier natin yung GIF, so it can be categorized as static and dynamic. Static, it's also categorized in graphics, which is but also categorized in the animation, which is the dynamic. So outlier natin yung GIF. Graphics interchange format, and SWI or animation swish format. So those are the different types of software of media that you might encounter. Now class, I have here actually an activity, but I'm thinking na since I have a deadline to you, right class? Meron akong deadline of our midterm activity. I will just simply delay muna. Huwag ko muna bigay sa inyo yung activity regarding this, okay? So sa susunod ko na ibigay, probably next week. Okay? And actually class, meron kami ngayong training. Kaya 1 p.m. yung resume ng training namin, and it's really important kasi ako yung pinadala ng College of Education to join that particular training, and I'm also tasked to, of course, to give them information regarding the training kasi pili lang kami, 3 lang kaming pinadala sa training, and lunch break lang talaga ngayon. So 1 p.m. yung resume namin. Okay, so that would probably all for today's session. Thank you so much class for your participation. And okay, so and na-observe na tayo, successfully observed by the dean. Okay, thank you so much, and open your webcam so we can take a picture. So mag-working lunch na lang ako while attending the training. I'm eating lunch because I'm not yet eating lunch. So working lunch yung tawag namin. Nag-work habang nagla-lunch. Kayo, class, kumain na ba kayo? Nag-lunch na ba kayo? Give me thumbs up. Kung hindi, kung yes. Okay, pare-pareho tayo. So, 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, so that would be all for today's session. I'll meet you next week. So goodbye, class. Bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, then.
Thank you
Bye.
po.